Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Seem good. Okay, but actually, before I start, I have a couple announcements from the point of view of outreach. One of our members, Jeff Donaldson, has been asked to lead a stargazing session at Carroll's Corner on February 25th, weather permitting. And Jeff would welcome help by anyone that wants to go out there with him, preferably with a telescope. So if you're able to go, contact Jeff directly, or you can contact me, and I'll pass the message on. The other thing is a little farther in the future, but the Discovery Center has asked RASC Halifax to participate in their Astronomy Day, which will be on April 29th. So we'd love to have some people join myself and Peter Hurley at the help out at the booth, and we're hoping, weather permitting, to have some sort of viewing session associated with it, perhaps later in the afternoon. So again, if anyone can, it's a way in the future, but think about it and let myself or Peter know if you're interested. Okay, so what's up in February's night sky? You'll remember one of the challenges from last month was Kemble's Cascade. So here's a picture of Kemble's Cascade. Hopefully some of you were able to find it with binoculars or a telescope. So the sun is with us longer these days, even though the cloudy, rainy skies hid it from us a lot of the time. So sunset is getting later. At the start of the month, it was at 5:22. By the end of the month, it'll be at 6 p.m. And dawn is also sunrise is also changing. It's getting earlier in the morning. So the days are getting longer. By the end of the month, we'll have nearly 12 hours of sunlight. Not too much happening on the sun today. I took this image, took a screen capture from spaceweather.com this morning, and you can see a few small sunspots. But be patient. Apparently, there's two large sunspots on the other side of the sun, which will be transiting and facing us in about a week's time. So we may be able to see some more exciting solar activity. And speaking of solar activity, this is where we are in terms of sunspot counts. And you can see that we're far in advance of the official forecast. So we're already at the level of sunspot activity that we had at the peak of the last solar maximum, which was solar cycle 24. So solar cycle 25 is looking to be quite good. We're still a couple of years from the maximum of solar cycle 25. So it's a good time to get your solar filters and your solar telescopes dusted off. The moon this month, if you braved the cold last night and had clear skies, it was near Pollux. The full moon, the snow blinding moon, is February 5th, so tomorrow. Last quarter will be the 13th, and then the new moon, the maple sugar moon, is on February 20th. A few interesting things to look for here. On the 22nd, the moon will be near Jupiter and Venus. On February 26th, it'll be near the Pleiades. First quarter of the maple sugar moon's February 27th. And if you're a very early riser or up very late, in the early morning hours of February 28th, the moon will be near Mars, and that should look quite nice. So a photo opportunity for people on the evening of the 26th. This is not to scale. The moon's enlarged 2 times, but you can see where the moon is. It's lying nicely between Aldebaran and the Hyades and the Pleiades off to the other side. And if you have a crop sensor DSLR, a lens and focal length between 100 and 135 millimeters, at least according to Stellarium, should frame that quite nicely. Those of you doing the Explore the Universe, looking at features on the moon that are part of that program, the best times to look will be at the time of first quarter, February 13th, and last quarter, if you're up very late. That's when the Terminator will bisect the moon, and you'll, on the 13th, you'll be able to see lots of features in this area, outlined nicely and contrasting with shadows. And on the 27th, you'll see last quarter, so you'll be able to see all things over here. Planets in February. Mercury is still visible, but it's very low in the eastern horizon, and it won't be too long before it fades into morning twilight. You probably noticed Venus is quite prominent in the early evening sky, and on the 15th, there'll be a close conjunction with Neptune. On the 22nd, Venus is close to Jupiter and the waxing crescent moon. Mars is still quite obvious in the night sky. It's still in Taurus, and it's visible for most of the night, although its brightness will gradually fade through the month as its distance from the Earth increases. Jupiter, we're soon going to lose Jupiter. It's visible in the early evening sky, in the area of the constellations Pisces and Cetus. And on the 22nd, it's close to the crescent moon and close to Venus on the 28th. Saturn is no longer visible due to its proximity to the sun. Uranus is high in the early evening sky, and Neptune is still visible in the extreme northeast of Aquarius, but it will be fading into evening twilight as the month progresses. So some things to look out for, and another nice wide field photo opportunity is on the 22nd, when Jupiter, crescent moon, the nearly new moon, and Venus are all in the same area of the sky, and fairly high up. So you have a decent western horizon. Should get a nice image, a nice view. The challenge here is on the 15th of February, when Venus and Neptune are close together. So this is the view through 15 by 70 binoculars. The challenge is that Venus is very bright. So picking out Neptune in the amidst the brightness of Venus will be a challenge. And on the 28th, in 10 by 50 binoculars, this is how close the Mars will appear to the moon. And that should be quite impressive. It's not going to be a occultation like we saw last month, if you were lucky and didn't have clouds, but it's still going to be a very nice view. Comet C2022 E3. So many of us have been taking pictures of that comet. Its current magnitude is about 5.2, but by month's end it'll fade to 8.1. It's just had its closest approach to the Earth. It's it's a comet that's moving pretty quickly across the star field. This is the motion across the star field in 30 minutes. And this is a picture I took of the comet a couple days ago. You notice the green hue due to the ultraviolet light excitation of diatomic carbon derived from organic compounds on the surface of the comet. We've still got probably another week where the comet's going to be pretty bright. So this is its current track across the sky. So if it's clear tonight and you're willing to brave the cold, you can find it just between Camelopardalis and Lynx, and just above Capella. So it should be fairly easy to see if you've got dark skies. We're in February, which is a good time to look for zodiacal light in the western sky just after twilight. You need a dark sky, and you need a sky where there's no moonlight. Towards the 19th of February would be a good time, around 7 p.m. This is zodiacal light, as shown in Stellarium, and well worth looking for. It's you can see it quite easily. Well, I should say quite easily, but if the skies are dark, it's obvious with the unaided eye, and the camera does a nice job of picking up zodiacal light as well. For going back to explore the universe, winter constellations that you want to identify: Auriga, Gemini, Taurus, Orion, Canis Major, and Canis Minor. All visible in the southern sky. Winter stars. Sirius is very prominent, the brightest star in the night sky, and a number of other bright stars, Capella and Rigel and Procyon. Procyon, interesting, if you don't know the name, means before the dog, because Procyon rises before Sirius, which is the dog star. Winter deep sky objects. So last month, Kemble's Cascade was one of the objects. This month, some open clusters of Pleiades, Messier 45 and Messier 35. And the challenge here is find Messier 35, but then see if you can see the small, very compact open cluster NGC 2158 as well in your field of view. I don't know if maybe in a really dark sky you might see a fuzzy patch with binoculars, but I think you would need a telescope to see both. And double stars. 17 Coma Berenices is a multiple star system that should be a double star that's quite easy to see with binoculars. So look in the Coma star cluster. 17 Coma Berenices A is a blue star, and 17 Coma Berenices B is a blue-white star. They're about an order of magnitude in difference in terms of brightness, quite widely separated. So good binocular targets. It's actually a multiple star system, although it appears to our eyes as a binary system because 17 Coma Berenices b is actually itself a binary system. So there is a 17 Coma Berenices c, but we can't discern that with our binoculars or amateur telescopes. And that's it for what's up in the February sky. So if there are any questions, be happy to answer them.
Thanks so much, David. Any questions from Zoom land or from the room? Okay. There being no questions, thanks again.